Hey everybody, welcome back. This is lesson 5, and it's a supplementary lesson to our playwriting lesson. And it's here today because in working with some of you all, I have found that there are some issues and challenges that we'd like to address. So in this video, we're going to talk about two things. First and foremost, the mood or the kind of setting the scene-esque of your video. And secondly, the use of present tense or the use of your stories that you've been writing in story format and changing it into script format. You'll see some visual representations and examples of each of those things here today. Setting the scene. Now, in order to set a scene, it's really important that you think about the mood or the tone that you want to have in your scene. Whether that be that your characters are exploring an adventure, or going to a scary cave, or celebrating a party. The words you choose and the actions that you choose your characters to have will help tell the audience how to feel about this. When you read a piece or when you perform a piece, it's really important for you to think about how the characters are feeling, and then therefore you can help and become part of the story in that way. Setting the scene is critical so that your actors know how to act and how to perform your piece. What I'm going to do now is show you several different pictures, and these pictures are from all kinds of different sources, and it's going to be your job to just look at these pictures, and I want you to think about an emotion that is tied to them. As you're thinking of this emotion, I want you to think of all the different types of words that you can think of to describe this picture. I want you to think of not just the picture makes me feel happy, which good, it might, but what kind of happy? Does it make you feel excited or exuberant? Are you willing to celebrate, or are you feeling tears of joy? Those are all very different types of things. Same thing with if it was scary or angry or fun. Each time through, I'll ask you for some responses, and hopefully you can just give them and have them out loud. If you want to write them down for yourself, that's okay too. But the point of this is to look at these pictures, and we're going to start to develop a mood based around them. And then when you're developing this mood, and as you're looking at these pictures and you're writing down these words that you're saying that help describe these, I want you to take these words and then use them to help create moods and tones in your writings. So this exercise is just a visual brainstorming exercise that I'm going to help lead you through. Ready? Here we go. Picture 1. What does this picture make you feel? Look at the details. Look at the colors. Look at the shapes. Is there a texture involved with it? Does it look like it might feel a certain way if you could touch it? How do the people in the picture feel? How do they make you feel? All of these are important questions. Think about them. Write down your answers. Now you'll hear me ask the same questions under each picture, so I want you to answer them for each picture. Again, you're trying to find a set of words and exploration, a brainstorming bubble, based off these words you're writing down. So, picture 2. What does this picture make you feel? Look at the details. Look at the colors. Look at the shapes. Is there a texture involved with it? Does it look like it might feel a certain way if you could touch it? How do the people in the picture feel? How do they make you feel? All of these are important questions. Think about them. Write down your answers. Nice. Hope that was helpful. And now here's another one. Picture 3. What does this picture make you feel? Look at the details. Look at the colors. Look at the shapes. Is there a texture involved with it? Does it look like it might feel a certain way if you could touch it? How do the people in the picture feel? How do they make you feel? All of these are important questions. Think about them. Write down your answers. This picture will be our last picture. This is picture 4. What does this picture make you feel? Look at the details. Look at the colors. Look at the shapes. Is there a texture involved with it? Does it look like it might feel a certain way if you could touch it? How do the people in the picture feel? How do they make you feel? All of these are important questions. Think about them. Write down your answers. You will notice that I asked you the same questions in order under each picture, and that reason again was to help you understand and develop an idea of what these pictures are about. It's about feeling, and it's about getting those words down, because when you have those words, they'll be helpful in you using your imagination to create your script. The next part of our lesson is about present tense. Now, this sounds a little Englishy, and it is. So, scripts are written in what is called present tense. It's helpful when you're writing your script to think about the words right now. Because when you're performing the script, that script is happening in the right now for these characters. Meaning, it's not a flashback for them, it's not a flash forward for them, it's their real life. Even if you are in a flashback, the people there are doing the right now. So when you're writing, you want to think that it's being performed in that instant, that period, the present tense. Instead of, a lot of times, we'll write in past tense. That's how we read things as well. I want you to really think about the difference between past tense, something that happens in the past, and present tense, something that happens in the present. These are very important when you're thinking about your script. Here are some more examples of how to get from present tense to past tense. What I want you to do is, you've been writing a little bit now at this point. You've got a story that you're starting to tell, whether it be in those scene blocks or bubbles, or in your own way of brainstorming. I want you to start thinking of ways to take lines that you've written in past tense and in story form and start to make them in present tense, more of a script form. So, for example, if you wrote, Bobby has opened the window, that can easily be changed to a parentheses, Bobby opens the window. Past tense, present tense. One of those things is the thing that the character has done. One is the thing that the character will do. Let's look at another way to put this. You get out of here, Sally yelled. Or, Sally, parentheses, yelling, you get out of here. There's a different way to do that. I hope you noticed the screen on the bottom when I was talking, because that'll help show you some of the examples of what ways you can change something from past tense to present tense and how it can be done in a script. By simply changing it from something that has happened to something that is happening, you're making it active. We can act it out, we can perform it. Let's take a look a little bit at a script and a story. We're going to look at the story The Wind in the Willows. First things first, I'm going to read through a segment of The Wind in the Willows book. And then I'm going to show you, and I'll read the lines out loud, a segment from a Wind in the Willows script. These scripts and sections will be the same in each medium, but I want you to think about how they chose to adapt them to make it go from past tense, or from something that is happening in a book, to present tense, something that an actor can act out and play. When you're adapting something, it's not about getting it word for word, as you'll see. There will be some choices and changes made here. But what it is about is it's taking it and making it something that is allowing a reader to use their imagination and allowing an actor to use their imagination to put it on stage. It was the water rat. Then the two animals stood and regarded each other cautiously. "Hello, Mole," said the water rat. "Hello, Rat," said the Mole. "Would you like to come over here?" inquired Rat presently. "Oh, "It's all very well to talk," said the mole, rather pettishly. He began anew to the river and riverside lifestyle and its ways. The rat said nothing, but stopped and unfastened the rope and haul on it. Then lightly stepped into the little boat which Rat had not observed. It was painted blue on the outside and white within, and was just the size for two animals. And the mole's whole heart went out to it at once, even though he did not yet fully understand its use. The rat scullied smartly across and made fast. Then he held up his forepaw as Mole stepped gingerly down. "Lean on that," he said. "Now then, step lively." And the mole, to his surprise and rapture, found himself seated in the stern of a real boat. "This has been a wonderful day," said he, as the rat shoved off and took the sculls again. "Do you know I've never been in a boat before in all my life?" "What?" cried Rat open-mouthed. "Never been in a... You never? Well, What have you been doing then?" "Is it so nice as all that?" asked the mole shyly. He thought he was quite prepared to believe it as he leant back in his seat and surveyed the cushion, the oars, the rowlock, and all the fascinating things, and felt the boat sway lightly under him. "Nice? It's the only thing," said the water rat solemnly, and he leaned forward for his stroke. "Believe me, my young friend, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, half so much as worth doing as simply messing about in boats." "Simply messing," he went on dreamily, "messing about in boats, messing. Look ahead, Rat," cried the mole. Suddenly, it was too late. The boat struck the bank in full tilt. The dreamer, the joyous oarsman, lay on his back on the bottom of the boat, his heels in the air. Now, let's take a look at how this scene plays in a stage play. As Mole begins to talk about the water, animals may also be about doing their business as desired. As Mole walks, she leaves behind the woods and the fields of the reach of the river. The other animals interact and chat with each other, but Mole remains separate, focused on her surroundings. The water rat has entered, by this point, out on the river in her little blue boat and her white rowboat. If the staging of a literal rowboat proves too complex, it may be portrayed as though a simple, suggestive pieces, or perhaps just through sound, lighting, and pantomime. Mole sees the river for the first time. I'm going to pause here and say that in stage directions, they're trying to give you that visual of what you'll see on stage while keeping it present as possible. Let's move on to some dialogue. Mole. "Oh my." Rat. "Hello, Mole." "Oh, this is..." "Hello, Rat. New to the river?" Mole nods. "I thought as much. You look like a forest dweller. It's pleasant to meet you. Mole, how do you do?" "Very well. Thank you, Rat. I'm glad to meet you. So, is this the river? The river? And you live on it?" "By it, with it, on it, and in it. It's the only world I've ever known, and I don't want any other. What it hasn't got is not worth having, and what it doesn't know is not worth knowing when you think of it." "It's marvelous. I've never known anything like it." Slight pause. "Well, aren't you going to join me in this boat? Oh, it's all very well to talk." Rat brings a boat over to Mole, cheerfully. "There you are, then. Step lively." Rat helps Mole into the boat. "Careful now. Hold on." Once Mole is in the boat, Rat brings it back to the river. There. Mole is in awe, enraptured by this new experience. "How wonderful. Do you know, I've never been inside a boat in my whole life?" "Never? What on earth have you been doing then? Is it as nice as that?" "Believe me, Mole, there is nothing worth doing as messing about in a boat. And it's the finest thing there is, really. Just messing about in a boat. Rat, look out! They act as if the boat has hit the shore and they fall over in the boat. Yes, nothing like a boat. Does this happen often? I hope that by looking at how these two scenes go back and forth, you can see that how we can take the dialogue and take it from being passive or past tense to active and present tense. That's the most helpful way that we can go about transitioning the scripts from the stories we've written into active scripts and dialogues. You'll have seen the translation and what scripts look like on here, and that's some good formatting for you as well. Character name, colon, then the lines. You also put it in bold if you would like to. Also, by placing your stage directions in parentheses and centering them on the page, that helps set them apart. These should be some extra added tips to help you format your script so it's easy to read, as well as you understand the difference between a story and your script. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Have fun writing, get creative, and we'll see you all real soon.